sacrificed, with Fear finding sort of the meek as the turn 2 play.
You want to know what else I love? Ross's one of Moon Volley Acid Moss in the main deck.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
I mean, there's a lot of chatter about the Mirror maybe showing up and Mono Green Tron being around this weekend. The Acid Moss plays great in those matchups.
Yeah, it also just ramps you, and you have a lot of these 2-mana ramp spells like Sakura Tribuilder and Explorer and, Farseek and yada, yada, yada. You almost always have, one thing to do on turn 3 after you ramp. Why not make it a Moon Volley Acid Moss? It looks pretty damn good here.
There's the moss. Say goodbye to your snow-covered island.
And it does search up a forest, not a basic forest, so you are able to get those dual lands with it, which is nice.
It seems that Moon Volley Acid Moss should not be able to target a snowland.
Why?
That's just me. Moss in the wintertime?
Well, shut up.
Here's a Thopter Foundry. Fear did have a replacement second land.
Acid Moss, okay? It melts the snow.
Oh. Yeah, it shouldn't be able to target Tundra either. Good call, Director Rob.
Isn't a snow-covered plains just a tundra?
Oh, wow.
Isn't that just like...
I got a lot of words for R&D. Right, so Thopter Sword online with not that much mana for Fear. But he's got 19 life.
Does have 19 life. If he goes land Mox Opal Urza, he does get to just win the game, which is pretty nuts. Otherwise, though, he's going to have a tough sled in here to try to kill Ross before he just gives him the back of the hand with this Escape Shift or Primeval Titan or whatever in a few turns.
So Merriam had Summoner's Trap, but no 6th land naturally. So he's just going to explore, miss on the lamp. On the land, cast Search for Tomorrow. So now he'll get up to 6.
6 mana, only 4 mountains. Can't quite start doing the manual damage. It's always a strange day when the Titan Shift deck misses a land drop, you know what I mean?
Fear plays land number 3, has 2 Urzas in hand, can't cast them just yet. When they show up, they end the game.
All right, Merriam, can you deal 21 damage this turn? So he needs 21.
Draws Primeval Titan.
Might be okay. Maybe not, though.
Yeah, that's not the one he wanted. He already had that kind of effect.
Sure. He might even have Escape Shift also, just doesn't have the requisite lands to actually do anything about it. So Hharlan going to take a draw, finds the Urza, goes infinite, plays his whole deck, gains infinity life, and Titan Shift unable to do infinity damage. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird, I know.
The damage output can be large, but not that large.
In the quadrillions.
It has an upper bound.
Actually, I don't know if it can do that much damage.
No, I think the Valakut decks, I suppose if you're attacking with Titans, multiple Titans every turn, you can probably do maybe a couple hundred.
I think you could do 1,000 damage. That's good enough on Magic Online. Your clicks take a lot less than your opponent's Thopter Foundry clicks.
Well, the thing about it on Magic
Big
Online
dumb
is
idiot.
Fear just makes, 19 or 20 of them.
Okay,
Just kills you.
Blocks the Primeval Titan.
It can do that too. Can do it all. 6 more clicks.
Hharlan here. Thumb in his sideboard has a few things he does want to bring in. We'll go over the sideboards here real quick. Baltzes, I think, is a no-brainer. You can steal one of their big payoff spells pretty easily. I believe he is also boarded in Tezzera, Agent of Bolus as a way to close the game quickly. That combined with some small amount of disruption might allow him to steal a game. He does have 3 copies of Assassin's Trophy, which can kill Titan, but at the expense of giving your opponent a land just seems pretty bad. So I would leave those in the sideboard. Rejection, that stays on the board as well. Damning Sphere doesn't really do much against this particular deck. It's more of a mana stifler, and this deck gets lands on the battlefield manually instead of generating extra mana in cheaty ways. And then Collective Brutality, you could bring it in as a 2-mana discard spell, but I wouldn't bother.
Yeah, you're talking about Damping Sphere. It's a card against a lot of ramp decks, but Merriam has 3 spheres in his own sideboard.
Right. It doesn't affect the card Valakut the Molten Pinnacle. It affects cards like the Urzatron lands that all tap for extra mana, lands like Lotus Field, and ritual effects. But it doesn't stop Valakut proper. It doesn't stop stuff like Explore, the those ramp effects. You know, usually you're casting 1 a turn, trying to get up to like 6 or 7 mana, and then you're just casting like 1 big spell every turn for the rest of the game.
Merriam actually has a relatively stocked sideboard for the match. Collector Roof, Reclamation Stage, 2 Force of Vigor, a Beast Within.
Okay.
Some options here.
Dude, I just cannot wait for Beast Within to put a Todd Anderson token on the battlefield. It's rare. It's like seeing a unicorn in the wild.
So your new token is the Ooze.
Ooh, hold on. Director Rob, do we have new token able to be pulled up? Tight. I have a new token. It is an Ooze. Go on.
So, I mean, I was going to ask you, what kind of cards are going to make that Ooze?
Biogenic Ooze makes that Ooze. It's a 2/2 Ooze.
True.
I'm a big fan of Biogenic Ooze. I played it on a lot of my sideboards whenever I was toying around with Wilderness Reclamation. It's pretty good in a lot of these ramp decks as a standalone threat. The problem is that there's a ton of stuff that goes over the top of it, but as far as like a mid-range threat is concerned, Biogenic Ooze is nice. And you also get to play with this token, which is me getting eaten by the blob.
I love that art.
Or Gelatinous Cube. You know whose idea all that stuff was?
Whose?
Mine.
Nice.
I went up to our some of our art people in-house and was like, yo, what do you think about this? And they were like, okay, I can see that. And they kept asking me more questions, and I was like, like a Gelatinous Cube type deal. Or have you ever seen the movie The Blob?
Yeah.
And then for the next hour in Versus Live, I was just like, nothing moves the blob. So it just got stuck in my head. But looks like both players here are about ready to start game 2 here.
I had an idea in my head about the Ryan Overture Treasure token, but I'm happy I didn't pitch it.
Dude, it's so good.
I love what they did with it.
Yours is so good. It's just use a coin.
Yeah.
You're the king.
In my head, I imagined.
Oh, you could be the monarch next.
Nah.
You could be the monarch next because they always put the monarch on the coins.
True.
Yeah.
That would be super appropriate.
Right. Sorry. Go ahead.
The vision I had in my head was Scrooge McDuck diving into the vault of treasure.
That's pretty good, too.
But I'm really happy I did not pitch that because.
What if they had drawn you as Scrooge McDuck with the duck bill?
Woo! Actually.
Just
doing the duck bill.
Yeah, like you have the duck bill on the coin.
I was thinking kind of like the art for the card Greed, like, laying in it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, Hharlan here, gonna mulligan. Something we see quite a bit in Modern thanks to the new London mulligan rule, and in general. Decks can usually afford to toss back weak 7s and 6s in favor of more powerful 5s, and the London mulligan exacerbates that slightly.
Fear looking for some pretty specific stuff in the matchup, too.
Right. Speed. Looking for speed.
Hoping to turn on Mox Opal quickly, get that 3-card combo going. Thopter Sword Urza.
Yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot in the way of actually stopping or slowing down the Timeshift deck, so it's going to be a race, and, Ross is not really looking to interact all that much either, so whoever assembles their combo first, like last game, Ross stumbled a bit. Could have potentially won on like turn 4 or 5 if he had a better draw, but missed a land drop, drew too many explorers. Like a turn 4 Primeval Titan or whatever is just not even remotely close to good enough.
Gotta go fast.
Turn 5, it was a turn 5 Titan actually.
Gotta go faster.
Just got a Ricky Bobby.
Gotta go faster. Fear looking at a 6-card hand here. Looks like it's a 2-lander with some Astrolabes. Correction, I think it's a 3-lander, but 1's going to the bottom. Merriam on the play, turn 1. Suspend, search for tomorrow. The Nut Draw.
All right. Arkham's Astrolabe, also the Nut Draw.
Joined by Welding Jar and Mishra's Bauble. I'm
really curious on how good Field of the Dead is in this deck. Ross has 1 copy as kind of like a 5th Valakut for when your opponent, I guess, randomly hits you with the, Ghost Quarter Surgical Extraction combo or whatever. Maybe plays one of those Cranial Extraction type cards that steals them all out of your deck.
Sure.
But sometimes you can just use it with Scape Shift when your opponent's at a little too high of life total and generate like enough blockers to survive or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see it playing in games for sure. Merriam continuing to accelerate the mana. Sakura Tribe Elder on turn 2. Fear is just going to cast 2 more Astrolabes.
Great.
I believe an Urza in hand.
It's a pretty good one if he has Landmox Opal next turn. But Ross going to be looking to do some ramping of his own. Got a Primeval Titan in hand, so now it's just about getting up to 6 mana. Looks like he's going to go ahead and pop the Tri-Belter to dig a little bit.
Going to see some shortcutting on the shuffling. Search for Tomorrow is going to find the basic at the same time. No reason to shuffle twice.
Yeah, they're right. They don't happen at the same time. One happens on end step, and one happens on the upkeep.
God, if you do not allow players to shortcut that, you deserve to only get 1 point in your matches. You are asking for draws.
I give Ross a lot of hell about how much he shuffles. He did pay me a really kind compliment a few years back. He picked up Jeskai Black and played it in a like a classic or something at one of the open weekends. And he got 2, maybe 3 draws, and he just came up to me. He's just like, I have no idea how you can play this deck at the speed you play this deck, because I never got draws, and he got like 2 or 3 the first time he ever played the deck.
I think that we play kind of similarly when we're well practiced. When I'm playing in a tournament, most of my decisions are muscle memory.
Yup.
If I'm going to be winning that tournament, that is.
Yup.
All right, Fear is going to break up the hand here. Collective Brutality and Thoughtseize. Merriam just left with some lands in hand. You see that Field of the Dead and a Windswept Heath. 5 lands otherwise on the battlefield.
Yeah, but he does have the requisite mana to cast a big spell should he draw it. The problem is those 2 discard spells took away all of his gas, and now he's left in top deck mode, and he's not even that close to turning on his Field of the Dead, right? Oh, no, I guess no. I'm sorry. He's mixed up his lands a bit. He has some forests, some snow forests. Same with mountains. So currently he actually has 6 different land types on the battlefield. Well built.
That split working out. Fear going to deploy that Urza. Gets a pretty thick construct token here. Shocking to cast it. Goes to 16. So what do we have? 4 artifacts otherwise. He's going to spin the Urza, goes and finds Thopter Foundry.
Okay.
1 card off of the combo. What can Merriam do about it? He'll draw, I believe that's Escape Shift?
I also believe that's Escape Shift. So here he could Escape Shift, make a bunch of zombies, and deal... Oh, he could just deal 18 damage, right?
Yep, got 7 lands there. Valakut plus 6 mountains. He'll make the 2 zombies to be careful. But there's Escape Shift. Sacrifice 7 lands. Fear is going to see the 2 Valakuts and the 5 mountains. You want to see them first.
Sorry, Ross cited out all this.
Sorry, one Valakut and 6 mountains.
Right.
Yeah, you got to get 6 mountains. There they are. Yeah, but can actually make some Thopters here.
Oh, never mind. That's only 18 damage.
You do not need Sword of the Meek if you're just gaining a couple life.
Yeah, I don't think Ross saw it. I didn't see it.
Fear still needs to get the combo now.
Yeah, but all he needs is Sword of the Meek.
Yeah, he's pretty close. Arcum's Astrolabe. He's going to cast Tezzeret Angel of Bolas. That's going to be 5
and he
looks.
gets to tick up, and he still gets to tap all the...
There's Sword.
That's it.
Really impressive by Fear there. Yeah, so he did not have the infinite combo.
Wow.